Hi, I'm Heather. Thanks so much for joining me today for chair yoga, a practice you can use to help move your body, unwind stress and tension, and become more mindfully focused in the present. We're going to sit up nice and tall. I'm sitting on the front edge of the chair, checking in with my seat and feet. So making sure your feet are grounded. If they're not, you can always slide something underneath your feet. And we're going to just take a few moments to transition from the outer world to the inner world. Taking this time to notice how you're feeling overall, physically, but also emotionally. And if you find that your mind is a little distracted all over the place, this practice is going to be very useful to center and focus and calm the mind. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes. Begin to feel your breath as it comes in and out. Notice how your body is receiving your breath, and notice how your body is releasing it. Starting to slow it down, a nice deep breath in, and on the exhalation, a nice long, complete breath out. Do 2 more breaths like that. Breathing all the way down, sinking it, and exhaling. If it helps you to gain more focus on your breath, you can also count how long it takes to inhale and how long it takes to exhale. And we'll begin to move the body a little bit more. So rolling through the head, we'll come into a nice half roll from side to side. Feeling your neck start to loosen up, but very gently. And this time as you roll your head to one side, hold it there for a few breaths. If you'd like to, you can bring that arm on that side up to the side of your head. Come right back to your breath. And then slowly releasing. And we're going to angle the head the other way, ear in line over the shoulder. If you'd like, you can bring your other hand up, and we'll hold this position for a few breaths. Slowing down your breath will help you to feel better overall. It helps to bring us back into balance on all levels of the body. So when we don't have time for very much, even just focusing on your breath, slowing it down, deepening it, making sure you're completely exhaling. Okay, we're now going to inhale and lift the shoulders, exhale, roll them back, and continue here for the next couple breaths. And this time as you inhale, rotate in the opposite direction. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift, exhale, release. One more time like that. And then you can slowly release. And we're gonna bring the arms out to the sides and slowly bring them up. And we're gonna pause halfway up, arms parallel to the floor. And we will bring the palms to face up towards the sky. And on the exhalation, turn the palms down. And continue this for a few more breaths. Inhale, bring your hands to center, palms facing forward, and a little bit of movement here. A slow, smaller circle. We're going to slowly make those circles bigger until we explore the full range of motion for the shoulder. So see how wide you can make that circle. Inhale on the way up and exhale on the way down. One more time like that. Good, bringing the arms back to parallel to the floor, and we'll rotate in the opposite direction. Maybe it's a challenge to figure out what direction that would be. So we'll gradually make those circles bigger. It's okay if you're moving in the same direction as you did last time. You'll notice though, when you're starting to inhale slowly and lift up, you'll be going in the opposite direction, and exhale down in front. And one more breath like that. Inhale up, exhale down. Good. And just releasing the arms and shoulders, shaking out through the arms and the hands. And we'll do a few wrist rolls here. So just move slowly through in one direction. Also kind of moving through my fingers a little bit, bringing them in and then stretching them out. And then opposite direction. Just move however you'd like to through your wrists. And we'll do a wrist stretch. We'll bring the right arm straight out in front. I'm going to point the fingers down, palm facing forward, and bring my left hand to those fingers. Gently press back. Holding for one more breath. And then slowly release, and we're going to switch to the other side. Bring your left hand down, the left hand forward, fingers down, gently pressing on the fingers there. Holding for two more breaths. And then slowly release. And again, just roll out to your wrists. And then let that go. And inhale, we're going to lift the arms straight up overhead. And exhale, we're going to come over to one side. So you can bring your hands right together, point your index fingers, keep your both hips rooted down to the chair. And on your next breath in, back to center. Next breath out, other side. And next breath in, come back to center. We're going to now turn the palms to face up and stretch a little bit more here. And then we'll bring the right elbow down and the left arm or elbows just behind the head. Try not to push the head forward, but pull that right elbow down. On your next breath in, lift back up. And on the next breath out, bring the other side, other elbow down. Hold that for a couple breaths. And on your next breath in, come straight up again. Exhale, come down in front. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, take your hands behind your head this time, elbows out to the sides, and gently pull back with your arms. Opening your chest just a little bit more. Feel that opening in your upper back. And then arms up and slowly release again. Release your hands apart and feel into your upper body. Take a deep breath in and out. On your next breath in, we're gonna come into the front torso opener, the cow, and as you exhale, come into the back opener, which is the cat. And just flow back and forth with your breath. Inhaling, opening your chest, shoulders rolling back, chin lifting slightly. Exhale, belly in, head comes down, my arms can slide forward. Continue this for 3 more breaths. And 1 more. And this time, inhale, come back to center. And exhale, we're gonna widen the legs apart. We're sitting right on the front edge of the chair, and we're gonna come over into a forward bend. So if it feels good, you can let your arms hang, hands on the ground, or maybe you have a support there. If it doesn't feel good to come that low, you can always come back to arms resting on your thighs. I'll stay here for about 3 more breaths. And on your next inhale, begin to come back to center. So you can slide your arms up to your thighs and hands come onto your thighs. Sitting up again, straight and tall. We're going to bring ourselves into the opposite position, or into now a back bend. So we're going to reach behind, hold on to the seat back on both sides there, and open the front of your chest. Lift your chin. Okay, so instead of just being like this, I'm stretching and letting my upper body come forward. And I'll hold here for 2 more breaths. Good. It feels so good to open up the front of the chest so you can release. We tend to come the opposite way often and collapse on the chest, so now we're creating this space again. Shoulders can go down the back. And we're going to come into a twist next. So number 1 thing for the twist, sit up nice and tall. So we're coming back to the seat and then aligning from the seat all the way up to the crown of the head. We'll reach back. I'm going to twist to the left side first. So I'm just reaching towards the back of my chair, wherever you want to hold on to. Right hand on the opposite leg, the left outside of your leg. And pause here for a few breaths. So you're in a position that feels good, you're breathing. And when you're ready, if you're feeling like your body's starting to get comfortable here, you can go just a little bit further with it. Push your hand against your leg and maybe turn your head if that feels right for your neck. One more breath. On your next exhalation, slowly come back to center. Feeling your back release. Centering yourself again, right from the root to the crown. And then we'll come to the other side. And again, take your time, just come into the first stage of your twist. feeling comfortable. Starting off gently will help your body to release into the posture much quicker, and you can continue to evolve your position. You can move on your breath. So typically we would move deeper on the exhalation. Again, maybe pressing that hand a little bit more firmly against the leg, turning the head. One more breath. At the end of your exhale, slowly come back to center. Feel your back, feel both sides. And before we come off the chair, we're just going to come into one more position here for our movement, and we're going to roll. And I'm rolling, moving right from my pelvis. You move with your breath, inhale forward and exhale to come back. And this time, let's go in the opposite direction. So inhale forward, exhale back. It's a little bit like the rolling cat-cow pose. So there is exhale when you're coming back. You're bringing your belly in slightly. Inhale, opening the chest. One more breath. Good. Come back to center. Feel again right through your whole upper body. With your breath and attention, you can help your body to release any tension that it might carry around. A lot of it can be unconscious. We don't realize that we're tensing up our shoulders, our neck, or back. So we're just letting our body release, finding more space within, and more of those good feelings start to flow too. So just feeling more at peace, maybe happier. Okay, so we'll come off the chair for one stretch here. This is a really good one for the whole back. And we're gonna come into the right angle position. So we're gonna step our feet back until the backs of the heels line up with the backs of the hips. If you're not sure, just play around with that, how it feels in your body. You can keep your knees slightly bent and you push your hips back to lengthen here. Through your back and through your shoulders and arms. I'm gonna breathe here. 3 more breaths. At the end of this exhalation, we're going to slowly come down into a full forward bend. When you're ready, planting your feet firmly, bending your knees, hands above your thighs, slowly roll up. Standing nice and tall for a moment. Okay, we're going to come back to the chair. And we're going to finish up in a few moments. But as we come back to the chair, just one more thing here. We're going to loosen up the hips a little bit more. So again, I'm sitting right at the front edge of the chair. I'm going to lift up this right leg first. And then support the leg however you can. And start to move right from your hips. You can rock your leg from side to side. You can do a few hip rolls. Just try to move your leg however you can. Okay. And then maybe even just a little for the knee too. If I'm holding underneath the leg here, I can just circle the lower leg around a few times. And then finally, just for the ankle, stretch out that leg, roll through the foot and ankle. A nice warm up for this next pose. So we're going to see if we can bring that ankle to the thigh. So I'm bringing my right ankle on top of the left thigh, sitting up. Come back to, you might slouch a little bit when you first go into this, but come back to sitting up nice and tall. That could be enough just to sit up tall. You start to feel the stretch and the opening here. If you'd like to, you can come over your legs, so bending from your hips. Hold this for 3 more breaths. And then slowly come back to center. We'll release that leg. Flex and point the foot. Release the hip. And lower that leg down. We'll bring the opposite leg up. Start to just rock and move however you can. Just like to do this kind of movement. Hip circling. And then sliding hands behind the leg and just rolling through your lower leg. This is good for the knee, helping to loosen up and lubricate your knee joint. Go in the opposite direction. And then just a few movements for your foot and ankle. So you can stretch that leg out and do that. Flexing and pointing. And bring that leg back in and cross the ankle over the thigh. You can just notice what position your foot is in, so you can bring it into just a slight flexion, toes in towards your knee. And coming over if you need to, but making sure your number 1 is sitting up nice and straight. Feeling the hips, and then from there, coming up. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Again, if you go into a pose gently, you can always go deeper. Your body will release. And we'll slowly come back to center, releasing that leg, rolling it out. Okay. And coming back to your chair. Before we finish, we will do just a quick meditation. Centering yourself on your breath. Following the incoming and the outgoing of your breath. And we'll stay here for 5 more breaths. And then you can open your eyes And wiggle your fingers and your toes. Don't forget to end with a smile. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.